Hasn't thrown the ball 100 times yet in his entire career. Nick is a little bit, I need to see a little bit more. Is that fair?
I'm not skeptical. I'm agnostic. I know the guy has an awesome rivals rating and great last name, but he just hasn't played much. That's all I'm saying.
So is the hype justified?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think a lot of the hype is kind of manufactured by a lot of us in the media, and just you put that name, it's football royalty. Obviously, he was the #1 player in high school coming out, and he's kind of waited his time, which I love, and he's developed there. I would say this, you know, with the little tape that we saw a year ago, he's really, really talented, and the ceiling is really high. It's all the physical traits you want in a quarterback. The arm strength, he can move. He's really fast. Like, he's a great runner, and I think that's going to be a big factor in this game. And I actually spent a little bit of time with Cooper Manning, his dad, this summer, and I love just the way they've kind of, you know, dealt with all of this. Like, this kid is a normal kid. He goes to school. He just wants to kind of fit in, and he's got that type of personality where I don't think he's too high or too low. So, again, yeah, I kind of agree with Nick in the sense that, like, we got to see him play, and I mean, road game against the defending national champ. Like, we're going to find out a lot about Arch.
Matt, I was going to ask you if you preferred them doing it the way they did, where they brought him along slowly, he's been behind Quinn Ewers, or throwing him in right away as a 5-star recruit as a freshman. You said you love this, so obviously you like the wait. But why? What do you think he'll benefit from having waited to get the starting job?
Well, first of all, just development. I think in this day and age of college football, in the portal, you see kids just jump at the first chance they can get. So I think he went into Texas with the mindset to learn and develop. And I'm just going to say this. Coach Sarkisian was my coach at USC. He's one of the best coaches that I ever played for, and he's one of the best quarterback developers that I ever played for. So I think that's a big reason why, Chris, is like he has one of the best coaches with him. He's learned the way of football. And Sark had success in the NFL as well. He's had tons of success in college. So to be able to learn from Sark for a couple of years, learn from a guy like Quinn Ewers, who Quinn Ewers was a really good college quarterback. We'll see what he does at the next level, and just kind of learn and be around the guys and the chemistry and all the things that a lot of times we don't see anymore because we see all these kids jump at the first chance. So I think the maturity and just kind of learning and sitting it, and then getting meaningful snaps last year. He did start 2 games, and he did play against Mississippi State in the SEC. So it's not like he's coming into the season like Julian saying, the other quarterback that we're going to see that really hasn't played any football yet.
Mark, I want to ask you a question. Obviously, both you and Matt were on unbelievably successful and legendary college football teams. It's very rare, it's not unheard of, but it's rare that a team as good as either one of these teams starts the year playing a team as good as either one of these teams. If you go back to your career, like, how real of a test is it, or test is the wrong word, how much of what we see Saturday is going to be an indication of who these teams are when you're a team this good this early in the year versus December when we expect both of them to be in the playoff?
No, I think you're right. I think it's a huge test for both of these teams to come out in week 1 against programs with such aspirations and desires. But at the end of the day, this is going to be a great game. And we're going to learn a lot about the measuring stick of these teams, like where they're at right now. But at the end of the day, both of these teams, whether they win or lose this game, they'll still have everything ahead of them going to the season. These teams who they could lose this game and still very much likely be in the playoffs at the end of the year. So it is a huge test in week 1 to be in a top 3 matchup. And I think both of these teams will see a lot about them tomorrow, about where they're at as a team, especially with both these quarterbacks. Ohio State lost a lot to the NFL. So did Texas as well, a lot to the NFL. So we'll see a lot about both these teams and where they're at tomorrow with how they play this game.
You guys want to talk about the other Heisman hopeful, Jeremiah Smith. I'm just going to read his playoff stats. Tennessee, 6 catches, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oregon, 7 catches, 187 yards, 2 touchdowns. Texas, 1 catch, 3 yards, 0 touchdowns. Now, they did win the game, but what are you expecting from Jeremiah tomorrow? Is he going to go out and sort of have something to prove, or is Texas like, you know what, it didn't work, but he's not going to be the guy to beat us?
I think that's a massive storyline in this game. He's the best player in college football. I'm sure you guys got a chance to see him last year. The dude is and he's only a sophomore. Like, he still has another year after this, which is crazy. But Texas did a great job last year, right? It was bracket, it was double team. It was just, hey, we're not going to let number 4 beat us. We're going to let other guys beat us, and that's exactly what happened. But Ohio State had the luxury of having Emeka Egbuka as a first-round pick. They had those 2 talented running backs. They had Will Howard, who had played a lot of football and really peaked at the right time in the college football playoff. So I think when you look at this game, the game plan to get him involved, if he has 1 catch for 3 yards in this game, Ohio State's going to lose because they have some new pieces. Carnell Tate had a big game last year in the national championship game. They got a new tight end who they're really excited about, but they have a young quarterback who's never played. So I think this game really falls on like Brian Hartline, the new OC, Ryan Day. They've had 8 months to game plan for Texas on how they're going to get Jeremiah Smith involved in this game, moving him around, shifts, formations, just find those different mismatches. And Texas on the other side, guys, that defense was outstanding last year. Most of those guys are back.
Yep.
So I think that's going to be the interesting chess match in this game is how do you get Jeremiah Smith involved?
And if I'm Texas, I'm coming into this game like I'm not letting number 4 beat me. They don't have Quinshon Judkins. They don't have Travion Henderson. They don't have Emeka Egbuka. They don't have Will Howard or all that experience. So if I'm Texas, I'm saying one thing. I'm not letting number 4 beat me.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how it lines up.
Yeah, and obviously for Smith, as great as he is, I mean, he's dependent on saying having a good game too. So, Matt, what can you tell us about this kid?
Yeah, he's a SoCal kid. I've had a chance to see him in the 7-on-7 kind of world back a couple years ago when he was in high school. And I'll just say this, guys, like he was the #1 quarterback for a reason. He originally committed to Nick Saban, Alabama. Then Nick Saban leaves. He immediately comes to Ohio State. He's got a lot of moxie. Like he's got a lot of that kind of confidence. He's not a very big kid, but he's got a great release. You guys watch this game, like the release, the ball. It's just one of those things when you watch in person, like damn, that looks really pretty, right? But he's got a toughness to him, and there's a reason why he won this job. Like this is Ohio State. There's a lot of pressure when you're a quarterback at Ohio State, especially coming off a national championship. So I think in this game, you know, at least what I would tell him, it's like do all the things that got you to this point, right? He manages the game well. He moves pretty well. Probably not as much as what Will Howard was in the run game a year ago, but you will see him take off and make some plays with his legs. He's really smart, high football IQ, a lot like Arch in the similar. Like these guys are walking into kind of similar situations. Like, all right, young quarterbacks, the stage is set for you guys. Like, how good are you going to be? But I'm fired up to watch him, man. He's been waiting here a year, and now it's his time.
Mark, what do you think the focus on Jeremiah Smith will mean for the Ohio State running backs? Like you mentioned, last year they're lining up 4 high first or second round draft picks. Their top 2 receivers, their top 2 backs, and everybody knows how good Jeremiah is, but Emeka and the 2 running backs. This year it's a little bit different, at least as far as their draft profile at the moment. What does the focus on Jeremiah Smith mean for what's available for the Ohio State running game?
Well, everyone is under. They have to perform better. When you have a young quarterback like Julian saying, everyone around him has to step their game up to make his job as easy as possible, and that lies with these running backs. One of the best ways to have your quarterback being comfortable is by running the football. So both of these 2 running backs, they need to have a great day tomorrow. They call them Sonic and Knuckles, and we're going to see if they got the speed and the power because they're going to need it to be able to keep that balance, keep Julian saying clean in the pocket, but also to be able to not let them, you know, roll coverage and roll extra people to have eyes on Jeremiah Smith. Make them pay for not having a light box. Make them pay for not focusing on the run game. And we're also going to have to see Carnell Tate step up too.
I also think, guys, too, to answer that, like they're gonna probably do everything they can again to take Jeremiah Smith off. Obviously, going to have some new wrinkles and things, and Ohio State's going to prep differently. But when you do double that, obviously it lightens up the box, and it's literally going to be up to Ohio State's offensive line. I know Texas on the defensive interior has some question marks, so I do think they're going to try to attack that. But you got to be able to run the box against 5-6 guys. Like you just have to in football in general. Like that's a common rule. If you can't, and then you can get to the quarterback and you can stop the run, combine that with obviously the immaturity of Julian Sam, because it could be a long day for Ohio State. We'll see.
All right, so now this is the most challenging part as a host. And if I don't do a good job, you can help me, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we have a segment on the show called Must Win, all right? But it's not must win. It's not like the playoffs must win. I describe it like this. On Mother's Day, I must buy my wife flowers. I'm not going to get arrested. We're not going to, but I have to. Okay? So in the old school format, this was literally a must-win. Your national championships hopes could be done. Now it's much more forgiving. That being said, who is this a must-win for? Even though it's not a must-win, but it is.
It's a confusing, dumb thing we do, but we hope you understand.
To me personally, I think if you put it in those terms, technically in the BCS era,
by the way, your wife's birthday was this week.
Yeah,
it's
my
a
wife.
must to.
It was a must to spend the extra time with her
Exactly.
and take the late flight.
You totally get
you know what I mean?
We're all smart up here, you know. We got to take care of it.
Yeah. No, but for me, a must-win is for Texas. You got Sark. You got $35 million they put into this roster. They were in the CFP semifinal last year, lost to these champions in the Buckeyes. I think the must-win is for Sark and these Texas Longhorns because not only the investment they put into the roster, but just because the amount of time that Sark has had with this team, I think it's time for them to get over the hump. I think it's a must-win for them more than Ohio State.
I agree, but I'll take the other angle just to have fun. I think it's a must-win for Ryan Day and Ohio State. A couple reasons. You know, last year, Ohio State, they've lost four years in a row to Michigan. We understand how big that game is, and guys like being around this rivalry the last handful of years, it's insane. Like, that's just the one game that's always circled. So Ryan Day wins a national championship last year, kind of the monkey off his back, happy for him, a great team. This is just a brand new year, right? Now it's back to the same expectations. You kind of have a brand new team. You got Julian saying y'all have all these news. And some people look at that, well, that's less pressure. It's not when you're at Ohio State.
Right.
And you still haven't beaten Michigan in 4 years. And Michigan's going to be pretty good this year, guys. Like, they're going to be a really good football team. So can you imagine a world where Ohio State loses this game, then maybe they lose to Michigan down the stretch? Like, do the fans start calling for Ryan Day again? Like, I don't know. There's just so much pressure and expectation to win at Ohio State, which is probably unfair, but that's just the way it is.
I just feel Ohio State has a way more favorable schedule if they lose this game as opposed to Texas. So Texas, I feel like you lose this one, you drop this one, then you might drop a couple more along the way in SEC play.
As we said earlier, this is a massive measuring stick for both teams and both young quarterbacks. So we'll find out a lot tomorrow for sure.
You crushed much.
They crushed
totally got it.
I mean, they get it in a way that it took us years to get it. You guys got it instantly. Before you guys go, if either or both of you, a little story time. I went to Ohio State, Penn State 8 years ago. Huge game there. Saquon returns the opening kick for a touchdown.
Yeah.
But the crowd felt like a 12th and 13th man for Ohio State in that game, and Ohio State ended up coming all the way back. It's one of the reasons I think Ohio State they're not favorites anymore, but I think they should be because the home field is such an edge, in my opinion, in this spot. Can you guys both give us an anecdote from your careers of either the most ominous road game you played or one that sticks out in your mind where it really felt like where you were playing was as big of an element as who you were playing?
Well, I'll start. Listen, I'm going to take a shot at Notre Dame here just because I can't stand Notre Dame. And you guys know the Bush game, and we won. And I genuinely say this, Notre Dame, I had played there a couple years prior, and it's not notoriously like a loud, super home crowd. It just isn't. But in that moment, to answer your question, I'll never forget. It was a 4th and 9 play, and it's 2 minutes left, and we're down. And it was the only time in my career where I remember getting in the huddle and looking at the guys, and I couldn't hear myself speak, dude. It was so loud. I was like yelling at everybody, and they probably had no idea what I was saying. But I was like, just look at my hand signals. I'm gonna check this. But that moment for me in college is just one, and then the ending, obviously. But in that moment, in that like 10 seconds in the huddle, it was a loud.